Today we're going to continue with a very popular video that I did recently on toxic words that seniors should never say again for a happier, healthier life. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many seniors leaving comments that they will never use certain words again. So if you haven't seen it yet, click here to watch part 1 before continuing with part 2. And please remember that this video is not intended to offend anyone. It is made to raise awareness so that we can be more mindful of our word choice. Let's jump right in. No. 1. I'm sick. Have you noticed how often you or someone else says I'm sick? When you have a cold or the flu, it is perfectly fine to say I'm not feeling well or I'm feel well. But saying I'm sick over and over all day can harm your mental health. Why? Because when you focus on what's wrong with you, it creates a negative energy around you. This happens whether you are talking out loud or even thinking it in your head. When you think of yourself as sick, you start to believe that this is all you are. You may lose hope of ever getting better and give up on trying to improve your health. On the other hand, when you focus on what you can do instead of what you can't, you feel much better. For example, I have to stay home because I am sick becomes I get to rest at home today. Instead of seeing yourself as sick, see yourself as strong and capable. Remind yourself that although you are facing a challenge right now, you have overcome many obstacles in your life before and you will get through this too. I'm sick is a word that can become self-fulfilling. It's like saying I am weak, frail, helpless, forgetful, useless, grumpy, or a burden. So be aware of this and avoid saying it too often. If you find it hard to stop saying it, then try writing it down every time you catch yourself saying it. After a while, you will realize how often you use this phrase and how harmful it can be to your mindset. Then you can start to replace it with more empowering statements. Remember, it's all about what you choose to focus on. Focus on your strengths and abilities, and you will be amazed at what you can accomplish. Number 2. I can't. The phrase I can is another toxic phrase that shuts down your mind and makes you feel helpless. It brings a victim mentality and is one of the most common ways to escape responsibility. By saying, I can't, you are basically telling yourself that you are unable to do something, which can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. For example, if you say, I can't learn how to use this new phone, you might actually convince yourself that it's impossible for you to learn. This can lead to feelings of frustration, anger, and even depression. Instead of saying, I can't, say I can't right now, but I will try later. Or I can't yet, but I will try to figure it out. When you say I can't right now, but I will try later, you are still keeping a positive attitude and showing yourself that you are capable of doing things. Even if you don't succeed the first time, by trying and failing, you are still learning and moving forward. This is a much better approach than giving up and saying, I can't do it. So whenever you hear yourself saying, I can't, stop and think about whether it's really true or if you are just making an excuse. Remember, anything is possible if you set your mind to it. No. 3. I'm so stupid. This phrase is used by people who are upset with themselves because they make mistakes or do something wrong. It is extremely toxic and destructive because it attacks your self-worth and self-respect. It's a way of saying, I am not good enough, smart enough, or worthy enough. When you say this about yourself, you are sending a message to your brain that you don't value yourself. And over time, this can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. For example, let's say you are trying to fix a leaky faucet and end up making it worse. You might say, I'm so stupid, out of frustration. But instead of beating yourself up over the mistake, try to focus on the lesson. Maybe you learn that you need to call a professional plumber next time. Or perhaps you discovered that you enjoy fixing things and want to take up DIY projects. Either way, there's always something positive that you can take away from a mistake. So next time you make a mistake, don't say I'm so stupid. Instead, say I'm human and accept that everyone makes mistakes. We all do. So don't be too hard on yourself and focus on the positives. No. 4. This hurts. This hurts is another phrase that is harmful to your health and well-being. When you say this, you are focusing on the pain and suffering that you are experiencing. And when you focus on negative thoughts, they become stronger and more real. Instead, try to say it's painful, but it's temporary. It will go away soon. When you say this, you are reminding yourself that the pain is not permanent and that it will pass. This helps to put things in perspective and reduces the power of negative thoughts. You can also say, This is uncomfortable, but it's helping me to grow stronger. Or this is difficult, but it's teaching me patience and resilience. By saying these kinds of things, you are able to reframe the situation and make it more positive. This does not mean that you have to ignore or deny the pain. It simply means that you choose to focus on the bigger picture and to find the meaning in the suffering. No. 5. Old age is miserable. Another phrase that should never be said is, old age is miserable. Saying this kind of statement is like giving up and accepting defeat. It's a way of saying, I am old, weak, and have nothing to look forward to. When you say this, you are sending a message to your body and mind that old age is something to dread and avoid. But the truth is, old age can be one of the best times of your life. You have more wisdom, experience, and knowledge than you did when you were younger. You also have more freedom and flexibility. You don't have to worry about raising kids or paying off a mortgage. You can spend your time doing whatever you want. There are many benefits to growing older, so instead of complaining about it, embrace it and enjoy it. Say things like being old is awesome. I get to be wise, experienced, and free. Or growing older is a blessing. Each wrinkle and gray hair is a reminder of a life well lived. By saying these kinds of things, you are able to reframe old age in a more positive light. You are able to appreciate the benefits of being old and to enjoy this stage of your life. In the last video, we covered 6 toxic words and phrases that seniors should avoid. If you haven't watched it yet, do watch it so you can get the most out of this one. We want to help you live your best life ever. So let us jump right into the next 6 toxic words and phrases that all seniors should never say again. No. 1. Another word to stop saying is, I can't. Saying I can't is like programming your brain to believe that you're not capable of doing things, and that belief can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Instead, try saying, I won't, or I choose not to. When you use these phrases, it gives you an empowering sense of control over your actions. For example, instead of saying, I can't afford to go to the doctor, say, I choose not to go to the doctor. The latter implies that you have a choice, and you could change your mind later. It also leaves the door open to finding ways to make things happen. For instance, you could explore alternative treatment options, look into transportation services, or ask a friend for help. By saying, I won't instead of I can't, you're affirming your power to make decisions and find solutions. It is a small but significant shift in mindset that can make a big difference in your outlook and ability to problem solve. The secret to a great life isn't about avoiding problems, it's about solving them, and it all starts with the words you choose to say. Number 2, I don't know. How many times have you said this or thought it when faced with a situation you or unfamiliar with? This phrase can sometimes be an easy go-to for many of us, especially when dealing with unfamiliar situations. However, saying I do, know too often can become a habit that prevents us from learning and growing. It can also make you appear disinterested and unmotivated, which might not be the impression you want to give off. Now, there's a time and place for saying I don't know. If you truly don't have the answer, it's okay to admit it. But after that, it's important to take action. Instead of just saying, I don't know, follow up with something like, but I'd like to find out. This shows others that you're eager to learn and willing to put in the effort to understand. Remember, knowledge is power, and by showing a willingness to learn, you open doors to new possibilities and ideas. There's always something to discover. So keep asking questions and expanding your horizons. Embrace the joy of learning and watch as your understanding grows. No. 3. Stop saying, why does this always happen to me? When faced with difficulties, it's natural to question why certain things happen to us. But saying, why does this always happen to me, too often can turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy. You might start believing that you're cursed with bad luck or that you're destined to fail. Instead, reframe your thinking by saying, what can I learn from this? This shift in perspective can help you focus on personal growth and finding solutions rather than dwelling on negativity. For example, if you lose your job, instead of saying, why does this always happen to me? Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this setback to improve my skills and find a better job? By adopting this mindset, you'll be able to tackle challenges head-on and turn them into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Remember, it's not what happens to us, but how we choose to respond that truly matters. Number 4, it's too late now. This phrase is another one of those toxic words that can rob you of happiness and success. Many people use this phrase when they feel like they've made mistakes or missed out on opportunities. But it is important to remember that it is never too late to make a change or to pursue your dreams. Just think of all those people who found success and happiness later in life. Saying it's too late now only reinforces negative beliefs and can limit your potential. Instead, focus on the possibilities that still lie ahead. Even if you've made mistakes in the past, it's essential to forgive yourself and move forward with a positive attitude. Don't let age define your abilities. Older people can learn new skills and achieve their goals, just like anyone else. The key is to maintain a growth mindset and be willing to step outside of your comfort zone. Remember, age is just a number, and it's never too late to create the life you want. Number 5. Another toxic word that steals happiness is nobody cares. When you say nobody cares, you're essentially telling yourself that you're not important or that your feelings aren't valid. This can lead to feelings of isolation, disconnection, and despair. But the truth is that people do care about you. You may have friends, family members, neighbors, or colleagues who genuinely want to help or listen. It's important to reach out to them and build meaningful connections. When you nurture these relationships, you will realize that you are not alone and that you have a support system that can help you through tough times. So instead of saying nobody cares, try saying, I need some support right now. By expressing your needs clearly, you'll be more likely to receive the help and understanding you deserve. Remember, reaching out for support doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise. It is a sign of strength to ask for help when you need it, and to cherish the people who are there to support you. Number 6, I'm alone. We've already talked about how saying I'm alone can be harmful, but it's worth mentioning again because loneliness is a common issue, especially for seniors. Feeling lonely doesn't mean you're physically alone. It means you may not feel connected to others, or like you belong to a community. Loneliness can affect both your mental and physical health, making it important to address. While it's normal to feel lonely from time to time, it's not a feeling you need to dwell in. Connection and belonging are fundamental human needs, and when you feel alone, you're essentially distancing yourself from these essential connections. This creates a cycle that can trap you in a state of unhappiness and isolation. Instead of saying I'm alone, try saying I feel disconnected right now. This subtle shift in wording can help you take the first step towards building meaningful connections and breaking free from the cycle of loneliness. Reach out to friends and family, join community groups, or volunteer to meet new people. Remember, you're not truly alone. There are people out there who want to connect with you. Sometimes all it takes is a little effort to find them. The old saying, strangers are friends you haven't met yet, rings especially true here. Don't be afraid to strike up conversations and build relationships. You never know who you'll meet and what kind of connections you'll make. Many older adults also say, I'm useless, especially after retirement. But life after 60 or 70 can be full of meaning mentoring younger generations. Volunteering or pursuing hobbies you didn't have time for when you were working. Saying, I have purpose, can change the way you wake up each morning. As the proverb reminds us, the purpose of life is a life of purpose. Here are some ways that you can find your purpose in life. There are over 40 million not-for-profits in the United States alone, all needing volunteers. Volunteering gives you a chance to make a difference in your community, while meeting new people who share your interests. Volunteering can boost your mood and give you a sense of accomplishment, pride and fulfillment. The rewards are many. Your time and talents can help support causes that matter to you, such as helping animals, the environment, education, the arts, health, poverty, alleviation, or mentoring youth. One organization that matches volunteers with meaningful projects is volunteermatch.org. They claim on their site that 1 hour of volunteering can change a life. It takes just a few minutes to create a free account. Then you can search thousands of opportunities based on your location, skills, and interests. If you prefer working behind the scenes, consider becoming a donor. You don't have to wait until you're wealthy to make a difference. Even small gifts to nonprofits can have an impact. You can give money, but your time and expertise are also valuable. Share your knowledge by becoming a mentor. The Small Business Administration, for example, has a SCORE program that pairs experienced business people with entrepreneurs who need guidance. Your wisdom and experience can help someone launch a successful venture, and ULL. Feel good about yourself knowing you made a contribution. Number 4, everything hurts. I know many seniors say this because aches and pains often come with aging, but saying everything hurts can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. A positive mindset can help you focus on what you still can do rather than what you in. There's evidence that optimism can help you live longer. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that optimists have better health and well-being outcomes than pessimists. So try to maintain a positive attitude. One way to do that is to avoid negative self. Instead of saying, "I'm so stiff," say, "It might be hard to touch my toes, but I can still bend at the waist." Focus on what you can do and celebrate your abilities. This doesn't mean ignoring pain. If something hurts, take a moment to acknowledge it, and then shift your focus to something you're grateful for. Maybe you're grateful that you can walk, or maybe you can afford to see a doctor about your discomfort. No. 3. I don't want to go to the doctor. Doctors aren't interested in my problems anyway. When you don't feel well, it's important to seek medical attention. Ignoring symptoms could lead to more serious health issues down the road. Plus, doctors are there to help you. In fact, they've dedicated years of their lives to learning how to treat illnesses and injuries. They want to help you stay healthy. Many doctors also have a special interest in the health concerns of older patients. Geriatricians, for example, are experts in treating the unique health issues faced by seniors. Doctors can also help you with mental health concerns, which tend to increase as we age. Depression and anxiety can affect anyone regardless of age. It is nothing to be ashamed of, and talking to your doctor could help you find the support you need. Some people worry that their doctor won't have enough time to address their concerns. If that's the case, consider changing to a doctor who does make time for you. You deserve to be heard, and your concerns are valid. Doctors want to partner with you to help you stay healthy and live your best life. So keep those appointments. Let's look at some other negative words to avoid and what to say instead. No. 2. I never get anything right. We all make mistakes. It's part of being human, but saying "I never get anything right" is a harmful thing to tell yourself. You may think you're being honest, but this kind of talk can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe you're incompetent, you're less likely to try new things or take risks. But challenges are necessary to grow and learn. Besides, everyone makes mistakes. Even if you're highly skilled, no one is perfect. So when you catch yourself saying "I never get anything right," stop and think about whether it's really true. Chances are you're forgetting all the times you did get something right. Maybe you baked the perfect cake for your grandchild's birthday. Or maybe you successfully negotiated a lower price for your car insurance. Whatever it is, make a list of your accomplishments and refer to it when you need a reminder of your capabilities. Don't let negative self-talk hold you back. And no, I'm bored. Being bored can be frustrating, but saying "I'm bored" can reinforce that mindset. Instead, try to find activities that bring you joy and challenge you. Look for opportunities to learn new things or explore your creative side. There are many ways to reduce boredom and increase engagement. Try these tips. Take classes. Check out your local community center, college, or library. They often offer free or low-cost classes on a variety of topics. Learn a new language. Take up a musical instrument. Learn to cook new dishes or improve your computer skills. Volunteer. We mentioned volunteering earlier in this video. It's a great way to give back to your community while also meeting new people and expanding your social circle. Travel. If traveling is in your budget, visit new places and experience different cultures. Even staying close to home, you can explore parks, museums, and other attractions you haven't had time to visit. Start a hobby. Take up gardening, bird watching, photography, reading, or collecting. The possibilities are endless. Join a club or group. Connect with others who share your interests. Check out local book clubs, hiking groups, or sports leagues. Stay active. Exercise isn't just about physical health. It can improve your mood and reduce stress. Go for walks, bike rides, or swim laps. Staying active can also help prevent cognitive decline. Learn something new every day. Keep your mind sharp by challenging yourself intellectually. Read books, play brain games, do crossword puzzles, or Sudoku. Learn a new skill like juggling or playing an instrument. The key is to keep your mind active and engaged. Don't just sit around and say, "I'm bored." Take steps to make positive changes in your life. Not only will you be more engaged, but you'll also be setting a positive example for others. Here are 8 more toxic words that seniors should never say again. Number uno, you never listen to me. This is a toxic phrase used when we feel that others do not appreciate or respect our opinions. It damages relationships, shuts down communication, and creates disconnection. Instead, use, "I feel like my opinion isn't valued," or "I don't feel heard. Can you help me?" This expresses your emotions without accusing the other person. Remember, expressing how you feel without blaming others is the key to healthy communication. Now, "I hate you." While many may argue that this phrase is not always meant literally, it still carries a heavy weight in any relationship. Saying "I hate you" implies extreme dislike and can cause deep emotional pain to the other person. No one likes to hear they are hated, even if they know it's not meant sincerely. In fact, it's a common way to manipulate others in relationships. Instead of using this harmful phrase, express your anger in a healthy way. Say something like, "I'm angry right now. I need some time to calm down before we talk." By taking some time to cool off, you can then communicate your feelings in a respectful manner without causing unnecessary damage to your relationship. No. 3. It's hopeless. Whether it's about health, relationships, or dreams, hopelessness drains the spirit. We've all been there before, feeling like no matter what we do, things just won't get better. But adopting a hopeless mindset can be detrimental to our well-being. Seniors who believe in possibilities often recover faster from illness and maintain stronger emotional health. Hope is the heartbeat of the soul, and removing negative phrases like "it's hopeless" from our vocabulary can restore its strength. So next time you're faced with a challenge, try not to give up hope. Instead, say something positive and empowering like, "This is tough, but I'll keep trying to find a solution," or "I'm facing some difficulties, but I'm confident I'll overcome this." These affirmations can help you stay focused on solutions rather than dwelling in despair. Number 4, I'm too old for this. When we say "I'm too old for this," we imply that certain activities, hobbies, or experiences are not suitable for our age group. This phrase can limit your potential and prevent you from pursuing your goals and dreams. 8 is just a number, and there is no reason why you go and try new things or continue pursuing your passions simply because you're getting older. Instead of saying "I'm too old for this," replace it with, "Can I do this? I'm not sure if I have the necessary skills, but I'd love to learn." This not only helps you stay open to new experiences, but also allows you to focus on developing the skills needed to achieve your goals. For example, if you want to start a new hobby like playing an instrument or painting, don't tell yourself, "I'm too old for this." Instead, say, "I wish I'd started this sooner, but I can still do it." This mindset will help you pursue your dreams fearlessly, regardless of your age. No. 5. I can't do it. This phrase can be toxic because it implies a lack of confidence in one's own abilities and can lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy where you actually do you won't try and therefore you won't do it. This attitude can hinder personal growth and prevent you from achieving your goals. Replace "I can't do it" with "How can I do it?" When you shift your mindset from a problem to a challenge, you become more resilient and adaptable. This positive approach can help you bounce back quickly from setbacks and keep moving forward towards your objectives. Moreover, by reframing the negative thought, you cultivate a growth mindset that encourages continuous learning and improvement. This can lead to increased motivation and greater success in achieving your goals. Number 6, it's always the same. This phrase reflects a lack of faith in the ability to create change and can lead to a sense of apathy and resignation. If you constantly tell yourself that things will never change, you may start to believe it and give up on trying to improve your life. For instance, if someone says, It's always the same. After losing a game of cards, they may lose the desire to play again. Instead of saying, it's always the same, try saying, what can I do to make things better? By focusing on solutions, you empower yourself to take control of your life and create the changes you desire. This mindset can help you break free from the cycle of negativity and start moving towards a brighter future. Number 7, you always. Using this phrase, whether in a positive or negative context, is toxic because it shuts down communication and prevents understanding. When you start a sentence with you always, the other person becomes defensive and stops listening. They might think that you're exaggerating or being overly critical. To avoid this, replace it with I feel statements. For example, instead of saying you always ignore me, try I feel ignored when you do this. This helps express your feelings without blaming or accusing the other person. Then actively listen to their perspective. By practicing empathy and understanding, you can work together to find solutions that meet both of your needs. Remember, clear and empathetic communication is key to building strong relationships. Number 8, what do I know? This phrase can be toxic when it comes from someone with a lot of knowledge and experience. When you say, what do I know? You're essentially dismissing your own expertise and undermining your credibility. This can be harmful to your career, relationships, and overall well-being, as it conveys a lack of confidence and competence. Instead, try saying, what do I know? Replace it, wait. I wonder if there's something else I haven't considered. By approaching your thoughts with curiosity and openness, you can expand your knowledge and understanding while maintaining confidence in your abilities. By avoiding these toxic words and phrases, you can foster a more positive and fulfilling life. Not only will you enhance your communication skills, but also create a better image of yourself in the minds of others. These simple changes in your vocabulary can have a profound impact on your overall well-being and success. Remember, the power of words cannot be underestimated, so choose them wisely and embrace a more positive and fulfilling life. As we step into our golden years, it's easy to fall into patterns of speech that can unknowingly dampen our spirits and overall well-being. You might be surprised to learn that some common phrases and words can have a detrimental effect on both our emotional and physical health. But don't worry, because today, we're going on a journey to uncover 9 toxic words that all seniors should avoid saying again. Saying these words will make you feel much better and happier. And if you share this video with your friends in the senior living community, they will feel better too. So let's dive right in and see what words we need to banish from our vocabulary so we can enjoy a better quality of life. No. 1. I can't. When we say I can't, we're essentially giving up and surrendering to our limitations. The problem with this is that when we start believing that we are incapable of doing something, we lose motivation to try. And this mindset can quickly spill over into other areas of our lives. Instead of focusing on the things we still can do, we dwell on our perceived weaknesses and allow them to define us. It is important to remember that just because we may not be able to do everything we used to doesn't mean we're not capable of anything. We just need to adjust our mindset and focus on what we can do rather than what we can. For example, instead of saying I can't lift this box, try saying I need some help lifting this box. By reframing our thoughts in this way, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities and opportunities to lead a more fulfilling and active life. Number 2, I have to. When we start our sentences with I have to, we're essentially presenting our life choices as obligations or burdens. This type of language can create a sense of resentment and negativity in our minds. It's important to remember that we always have a choice in how we respond to situations. Yes, there are many responsibilities that come with aging, such as taking care of our health or managing our finances. However, we can choose to approach these responsibilities with a positive attitude and find ways to make them work in our favor. Instead of saying, I have to take this medication, try saying, I choose to take this medication because it will help me feel better. By taking control of our language, we can transform our life experiences into opportunities for growth and self-improvement, rather than simply seeing them as burdens. Remember, it's not what happens to us, but how we choose to respond that truly matters. No. 3. You never. When we use the word never in a sentence, we're essentially closing ourselves off to the possibility of change and growth. This type of language can create a rigid and inflexible mindset, which is not only toxic for our own well-being, but also for our relationships with others. For example, if someone says to you, "You never help around the house," it creates a sense of defensiveness and makes it difficult to have an open and honest conversation about your role in the household. Instead of using the word never, try to focus on the present moment and express your needs and feelings clearly and respectfully. For instance, you could say, "I feel like I'm not contributing enough around the house. Can we talk about how I can be more helpful?" By using this approach, you're able to start a constructive dialogue and work towards a solution that benefits everyone involved. Ultimately, being willing to listen and compromise is key to creating healthy and fulfilling relationships in our lives. When we constantly use the phrase "I used to," we're essentially dwelling in the past and comparing it to our present reality. This type of language can cause us to become overly nostalgic and prevent us from fully embracing the present moment. It's important to remember that while our past experiences have shaped us into who we are today, they don't have to define our future. Instead of focusing on what we've lost, we can shift our attention to the possibilities that lie ahead and explore new interests, hobbies, and experiences that bring us joy. For example, instead of saying, "I used to love playing tennis," try saying, "I'm looking for new hobbies to try. Maybe I'll join a pickleball class." By adopting this mindset, we open ourselves up to a world of new opportunities and create a sense of excitement and anticipation for the future. After all, life is never too short to learn something new and keep our minds and bodies active. No. 5. Why did I? When we ask ourselves the question, "Why did I?" we're often filled with regret and self-blame. This type of negative self-talk can erode our confidence and make it difficult to move forward. Instead of dwelling on the past, it is important to focus on the present moment and take proactive steps towards creating the future we want. For example, instead of saying, "Why did I say that?" try saying, "How can I make amends and move forward?" By taking responsibility for our actions and actively working to correct any mistakes, we demonstrate integrity and resilience. Additionally, practicing self-compassion and recognizing that everyone makes mistakes is crucial to maintaining a positive self-image and fostering healthy relationships with others. Now, 6. It's all in your head. When we tell someone that their concerns are all in their head, we're essentially dismissing their feelings and suggesting that they're not valid. This type of statement can be incredibly damaging, especially to those who are already struggling with mental health issues. It is important to remember that mental health is just as important as physical health, and that our thoughts and emotions are valid and deserve to be taken seriously. Instead of brushing aside someone's concerns, try to approach them with empathy and understanding. You could say something like, "I can't see what you're going through, but I want to listen and support you in any way I can." By creating a safe and supportive environment, we can help our loved ones work through their challenges and emerge stronger and more resilient than ever before. No 7. I am my illness. When we identify ourselves by our illnesses, we're essentially allowing our conditions to define us and limit our potential. This type of mindset can be incredibly damaging to our overall well-being, both physically and mentally. Instead, we need to focus on the aspects of ourselves that are separate from our illnesses. For example, if you have arthritis, don't define yourself as the person with arthritis. Instead, think of yourself as a capable and resilient individual who happens to have arthritis. By adopting this mindset, we empower ourselves to take control of our conditions and live full and meaningful lives. Remember, we're not our illnesses, and we have the strength and determination to overcome any challenge that comes our way. No. 8. This hurts. When we say "this hurts," we're essentially giving our pain and discomfort power over us. Instead, we can choose to reframe our experience and approach it with a sense of curiosity and mindfulness. For example, instead of saying, "This headache hurts," try saying, "I wonder what might be causing this headache and how I can address it." By taking this approach, we shift our focus from the pain itself to understanding and addressing its root causes. This allows us to take control of our health and well-being and ultimately empowers us to live a more fulfilling and joyful life. Remember, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. No. 9. That was then. This is now. When we say that was then, this is now, we're essentially implying that our past experiences are no longer relevant to our current situation. This type of thinking can limit our ability to learn from our past mistakes and prevent us from growing as individuals. Instead, we can choose to view our past experiences as valuable lessons that have shaped us into the people we are today. By accepting and learning from our past, we can move forward with greater wisdom and resilience. So the next time you find yourself saying that was then, this is now. Pause and reflect on the ways in which your past experiences have shaped you and continue to influence your life today. Remember, our past does not have to define our future. But before we begin, if you are new here, then make sure to subscribe so that you won't miss any future uploads. And without any further ado, let's get started. No. 1. I am too old. It is normal to feel like you're at your best during your youth. You have high energy, no responsibilities, and all the time in the world. But when you age, some people struggle to accept it. Some people think that if you grow older, you become a different person, and they start saying, I am too old for this. I'm too old to do this now. And this statement is the worst thing you can tell yourself. Saying such things over and over will simply program your mind to feel miserable. There was a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology that found that seniors who focus on the positive aspects of growing older tend to be happier. On the other hand, those who dwell on the negative side of aging, such as by saying I'm too old, tend to be less happy and report more physical ailments. Moreover, the way seniors talk about aging itself can shape how they experience it. Those who keep saying, I'm too old, often feel older than their years, while those who say I am just getting started bring energy into everything they do. Positive self-talk doesn't erase challenges, but it does make life feel fuller and richer. No. 2. I can't do it anymore. This phrase implies that you've reached your limits, that you are no longer capable of handling situations or performing tasks because you've grown old. When you use this phrase, you might be convincing yourself that it's hopeless. You may believe that you are unable to learn new things or change anything in your life. But remember this, age is just a number and it doesn't define your abilities or potential. Instead of saying I can't do it anymore, reframe your thoughts and say I can't do it yet. By doing so, you leave room for possibilities. You open doors to opportunities that may have seemed closed before. The power of yet lies in its simplicity and its potential to transform your mindset from one of limitation to one of empowerment. So don't say I can't do it anymore. Instead, embrace the spirit of exploration and discovery and say, I can't do it yet. Number 3 is everything is difficult. Have you ever heard someone saying, oh, it's so difficult to do this now. Everything is becoming difficult day by day. Well, guess what? If that's how you see things, that's how your life will be. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You start believing that everything is difficult and guess what? Your brain starts looking for evidence to prove that you're right. So it finds reasons why you can't do something instead of why you can. Why you'll fail instead of why you'll succeed. It's like wearing special glasses that only show you difficulties in life. But here's the kicker. Those glasses aren't real. They're just in your mind. So if you want to break free from this, stop saying everything is difficult. Instead, say this is challenging, but I can find a way to make it easier. By doing so, you are taking control of your life and showing your brain that you are capable of handling challenges. So whenever you face a tough situation, remember, it's not about saying everything is difficult. It's about finding solutions and making things happen. After all, life is full of ups and downs. It's how you choose to react that truly matters. Number 4. You used to be. Using this phrase to compare your present state to your past achievements or abilities can be a harmful way of highlighting your perceived decline. For example, you used to be so active. Or you used to be great at fixing things, but now you're old and can't do it well anymore. When you start saying these types of sentences, you are inadvertently emphasizing your limitations and downplaying your current capabilities. By focusing on what you were and what you are not anymore, you may inadvertently be causing yourself or others to overlook your present strengths and potential. Furthermore, constantly dwelling on the past can lead to a sense of nostalgia and regret rather than appreciating. opportunities and growth that each stage of life offers. Instead of saying you used to be, try to appreciate the journey of life and focus on what you can do now. Highlight your current skills and abilities and explore new ones. Remember, life is a continuous process of growth and change. Embrace the present moment and recognize that while your past experiences are valuable, they do not define your present or future. No. 5. Those days are over. This phrase suggests that the good times, happiness, and fulfilling experiences are behind you, and you should not expect them to return. For instance, those days of traveling are over for me now, or those days of partying and having fun are long gone. When you say things like this, you are essentially closing the door on new possibilities and adventures. You are limiting your belief in what you can still accomplish and the joy you can still experience. Life has a funny way of surprising you. Just because you've reached a certain age doesn't mean that you can't still have fun, travel, or create new memories. In fact, with experience comes wisdom and knowledge that can enhance any journey. So instead of saying those days are over, say those days may have ended, but new beginnings await me. By adopting this mindset, you are embracing the idea that each chapter of life brings new opportunities and challenges. You are leaving the door open for unexpected adventures and allowing yourself to create fresh and exciting memories. Keep an open mind and a sense of adventure, and you never know what wonderful experiences may still lie ahead. No. 6. I don't have anyone. One of the most toxic things that a senior can say is, I do you and have anyone. This phrase implies that the speaker feels lonely and isolated, as if they are completely disconnected from the world around them. It suggests that they have no friends, no family, or anyone who cares about them. Saying, I do you and have anyone is a statement that shuts down possibilities and reinforces feelings of isolation. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy that can lead to disconnection and despair. When you say, I don't have anyone, your brain starts searching for reasons to confirm that you are indeed alone. It finds evidence in the absence of phone calls, the silence of an empty house, or the missed opportunities to socialize. Instead, shift your perspective and say, who can I connect with today? By doing so, you open yourself up to the vast network of human connection that surrounds you. Look out for friendly faces in your neighborhood. Reach out to old friends, or explore community groups and activities that align with your interests. Remember, you are never truly alone. There is always someone out there who wants to connect with you and build meaningful relationships. No. 1. My children won't come visit. As the old saying goes, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Your children reflect you. If you say they won't come visit, your subconscious mind believes it and works hard to make it come true. You might start to feel resentful, bitter, and angry because you believe your children don't care about you. So instead, say, my children are busy now, but I know they care about me. By changing the narrative, you attract different experiences into your life. For example, you might see your children more often, or perhaps you find other ways to nurture the relationship you have with them. Number 2, I can't do that anymore. This phrase implies helplessness and self-pity, which creates a negative energy around you. Instead, say, how can I do this differently? This simple change of words demonstrates a positive, proactive attitude and openness to new possibilities. People are naturally attracted to those who demonstrate a positive mindset and willingness to adapt. For instance, you may discover a new hobby or activity that brings you joy and fulfillment in ways you never imagined before. So, next time you face a challenge, reframe your thinking by asking yourself, how can I approach this from a different angle? No. 3. I'm too old for that. This statement limits your potential and reinforces age-related stereotypes. There are numerous examples of seniors who have accomplished great things later in life. For instance, there is a famous chef who didn't open his first restaurant until he was 72 years old, and an artist who began painting seriously at the age of 84. Instead of saying, I'm too old for that, say, that sounds exciting. How can I get started? When you adopt this mindset, you open doors to new experiences that can enrich your life. Age is just a number. By reframing your thoughts around age, you can continue to learn, grow, and enjoy life to the fullest. Number 4, I don't remember. Forgetting names or details can be frustrating, but saying I don't remember only reinforces the inability. Instead, say, "Let me take a guess." Even if you don't get the answer right, the other person will appreciate the effort. Making an attempt, even if it's not perfect, helps maintain connections and creates a sense of mutual respect. For example, when someone mentions a detail you can't recall, respond with, "That sounds interesting. Let me see if I can remember." This approach shows your willingness to engage and sparks curiosity in the other person. By adopting this mindset, you foster deeper connections and keep your mind sharp. Number 5, it's too late for that. This phrase suggests that dreams and aspirations should be abandoned due to one's age. However, many people accomplish their goals later in life. For instance, Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, didn't start his famous fried chicken business until he was 65 years old. Instead of saying, "It's too late for that," say, "What would it take to make this happen?" When you shift your mindset to problem solving, you become more proactive and less likely to feel overwhelmed. This approach allows you to take steps towards your goals, no matter how big or small, and creates a sense of purpose and direction in your life. So embrace challenges and keep moving forward towards your dreams. Number 6, nobody listens to me. This statement implies a lack of importance or value in one's opinions or experiences. However, seniors have a wealth of knowledge and wisdom to offer. Instead of saying, "Nobody listens to me," say, "What can I say to be heard?" By reframing the issue as something you can control, you become more proactive and increase your chances of being heard. For instance, practicing active listening skills and showing genuine interest in others can make people more receptive to your ideas. So the next time you feel like nobody listens to you, ask yourself, "How can I better communicate my thoughts and ideas?" And then take action to improve your communication skills. Number 7, I'm too broke to do anything. Saying, "I'm too broke to do anything," can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. You may start to feel hopeless about your financial situation and believe that it's impossible to improve. This negative mindset can lead to apathy and inaction, making it even harder to change your circumstances. Instead of saying, "I'm too broke to do anything," say, "How can I stretch my dollars further?" By reframing the issue in a positive light, you open the door to possibilities and potential solutions. For instance, you may discover new ways to save money, earn extra income, or access available resources in your community. Remember, a positive mindset is the first step towards achieving financial freedom. Number 8, why does this always happen to me? This statement implies a sense of helplessness and a belief that you have no control over your life. This negative mindset can lead to feelings of hopelessness and despair, making it difficult to move forward and improve your situation. Instead of saying, "Why does this always happen to me?" say, "What can I learn from this experience?" By reframing the question, you take responsibility for your actions and choices and adopt a proactive approach to this mindset shift allows you to focus on finding solutions rather than dwelling on negative emotions. For example, if you face a setback, ask yourself, "What can I do differently next time to prevent this from happening again?" By embracing challenges as learning opportunities, you empower yourself to create positive change in your life. 8 toxic words that all seniors should avoid saying. Now these 8 additional words may sound ordinary, but they can actually harm your well-being and happiness as you age. Just like the first 8 words, these words can easily slip into our daily conversations, especially when we're not fully aware of their potential impact. But recognizing them is the first step towards breaking free from their negative effects. So let's dive in and uncover the power of our words. And remember, if you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more valuable content. No. 9. I don't feel like. Have you ever heard someone say, "Oh, I don't feel like doing that today"? At first glance, it might seem like an innocent statement, a way to express our mood or energy levels. But when we examine it more closely, especially in the context of aging, we start to see the potential pitfalls of this seemingly harmless phrase. When we say, "I don't feel like," we are essentially communicating a lack of motivation or unwillingness to engage in a particular activity. This can be problematic because it often leads to inaction, procrastination, or avoidance. As we grow older, maintaining an active lifestyle and a positive attitude becomes crucial for our overall health and well-being. The "I do unfeel like" mentality can be a barrier to staying engaged, and can inadvertently contribute to a sedentary and negative mindset, which can further lead to physical inactivity, social withdrawal, and even depression. Additionally, constantly relying on this phrase it can become a crutch that prevents us from trying new things, exploring new opportunities, or challenging ourselves to grow. Aging is a natural process, but our mindset and attitude play a significant role in how we experience it. Instead of succumbing to the "I don't feel like" mentality, it's essential to cultivate a growth and resilience mindset. This involves embracing challenges, learning from them, and adapting. By doing so, we can lead happier, more fulfilling lives as we age. Number 10. It hurts too much. Pain is an unpleasant and sometimes debilitating experience that no one wants to endure. It can be a constant reminder of illness or injury, casting a shadow over our daily lives. However, when we verbalize pain through phrases like "it hurts too much," we risk reinforcing a sense of victimization. By dwelling on the intensity of our pain, we inadvertently amplify its impact on our lives. This can lead to a feeling of powerlessness, making it easy to slip into a state of hopelessness. But here's the thing. Pain, while unpleasant, is a temporary visitor. It doesn't have to become a permanent resident in our lives. We have the power to change our narrative around pain. Instead of focusing on the intensity, we can shift our attention to solutions, coping mechanisms, and the possibility of healing. One way to do this is by reframing the way we talk about our pain. Instead of saying "it hurts too much," we can say, "This is painful, but I'm working through it," or "I'm finding ways to manage my discomfort." By doing so, we reclaim agency over our experiences and communicate a proactive approach to managing our pain. It's also important to seek support when needed, whether it's from healthcare professionals, friends, or family members. Reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness, but rather a testament to our strength and resilience. In the face of pain, we have the choice to be victims or to be victors. It's up to us to write the story of our lives. And that story can be one of pain and suffering, or it can be one of resilience, hope, and healing. Number 11. I can't do it. The phrase undo it carries with it a heavy weight of finality and defeat. When we say these three little words, we're essentially surrendering in the face of a challenge. We're communicating a lack of ability or a perceived inability to accomplish a task or goal. But here's the thing. Our words have the power to shape our reality. When we start believing and repeating the mantra of "I can't do it," we set up a self-fulfilling prophecy. Our mind starts to perceive every obstacle as insurmountable, every problem as unsolvable. This can lead to a decrease in self-confidence and self-efficacy, which can then result in decreased motivation and a reduced willingness to try. As we age, it's natural to encounter physical and cognitive challenges that test our abilities. These can range from declining health to memory loss, or even the loss of independence. In such moments, it's easy to fall into the trap of "I can't do it." But doing so can be detrimental to our well-being and overall quality of life. Instead of using this phrase, we can opt for a more empowering language. For example, instead of saying "I can't do it," we can say "This is difficult, but I am going to try my best," or "I am looking for ways to make this possible." By doing so, we maintain a sense of control and agency over our lives, and we communicate a willingness to persevere in the face of adversity. Remember, our minds are incredibly powerful. They can be our greatest asset or our worst enemy. It all depends on the stories we choose to tell ourselves. So be mindful of the words you use and ensure they reflect a positive, empowering narrative that supports your journey towards a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life as you age. Number 12. I have to. The phrase "I have to" can sound like a burden, a set of obligations and duties that weigh us down. It is a phrase that many of us use daily without realizing the subtle yet powerful impact it can have on our mindset and motivation. When we start our sentences with "I have to," we're communicating a sense of obligation and lack of choice. It's a subtle way of saying that we're not in control, that life is dictating our actions. This can lead to feelings of resentment, bitterness, and a sense of being trapped. But here's the thing. Our perspective holds tremendous power. How we choose to frame our obligations can significantly impact our emotional well-being. Instead of saying "I have to," consider the power of "I choose to." When we reframe our obligations in this way, we're taking back control. We're asserting that while there are things we need to do, Ultimately, the decision to do them rests with us. This shift in mindset can be a game changer, especially as we navigate the challenges of aging. Aging is inevitable, but how we respond to the changes that come with it is entirely up to us. Instead of succumbing to the I of two mentality, which can breed negativity and resentment, we can choose to embrace a more positive and proactive approach. We can focus on the things we choose to do, the goals we want to achieve, and the challenges we want to overcome. This shift in perspective can lead to increased motivation, a more positive outlook, and a greater sense of control over our lives. Remember, our words are powerful. They shape our thoughts, emotions, and actions. So be mindful of the words you use and ensure they reflect a positive, empowering narrative that supports your journey towards a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling life as you age. Now, some of these words may surprise you because they're not necessarily bad words, but they do limit your mind, your thinking, and your ability to stay happy. No. I don't know. How many times a day do you say this or think this? It's as easy to default to saying, I do, you, and no when you are faced with something unfamiliar or challenging. But according to studies done by Harvard University, this phrase shuts down your brain and closes off possibilities. Instead, when you're faced with a challenge, take a moment to reflect and explore different angles and perspectives. For instance, if you need to fix something around the house and you've never done it before, instead of saying, I don't know how to do that, say, how do I do this? This simple change in mindset can make all the difference, helping you to see that you already have the power and the knowledge within you to get things done. One way to reframe this toxic thought pattern is to replace I do and no with what can I do here. When you approach challenges with curiosity rather than defeat, you open up a world of opportunities for learning and growth. And as author Paulo Coelho wisely said, the expert in anything was once a beginner. Number 2, that won't work. You've probably heard this from someone when you were young. Maybe you wanted to start a business or do something completely out of the box and someone told you, oh, that won't work. You're not good enough. You don't have enough money. That industry is too competitive. The truth is many of us have been conditioned to expect failure, and we default to assuming things not work out. This habit is not only limiting, but it can also be detrimental to our happiness and well-being. According to research conducted by the University of California, having a positive mindset and expecting success are critical to achieving your goals and living a fulfilling life. They found that people who had a positive mindset and believed in their ability to succeed were more likely to set high goals for themselves and persist in the face of setbacks. On the other hand, those who had a negative mindset and expected failure were more likely to give up quickly when faced with obstacles. So the next time you hear yourself saying, that won't work, stop and ask yourself, why not? Challenge your negative assumptions and explore alternative perspectives. And remember, anything is possible if you believe in it. Author Mark Mason said it perfectly. You can do anything you set your mind to, and the only obstacles that stand in your way are your own doubts and fears. Number 3, it's impossible. Saying it's impossible is like giving up before you even start. It tells your brain that there's no point in trying because no matter what you do, you won't succeed. But the truth is that nothing is truly impossible. It is just that sometimes we give up too easily because we think it is impossible to achieve our dreams. According to a recent study published in the Journal of Graduate Medical Education, this mindset can be toxic because it limits your thinking and prevents you from trying new things. The study found that people who used phrases like it is impossible or it is too late had lower levels of well-being and were less likely to set and achieve their goals. So instead of saying it's impossible, try reframing the situation in a positive light. For example, if you want to travel the world but feel like it's impossible due to financial constraints, consider exploring options such as house sitting or volunteering abroad. These alternatives can help you experience new cultures while still saving money. You can also use technology to your advantage by connecting with other travelers online and sharing expenses. Remember, the only thing that's impossible is giving up on your dreams. No. 4. I'm too. We often use phrases like, I'm too busy, I'm too old, I'm too shy, and so on. But the problem with these statements is that they're not actually true. We're simply choosing to see ourselves as incapable of doing the things we want to do, and this mindset can be detrimental to our happiness and well-being. According to a study published in the British Journal of Psychology, using self-limiting language like I am too can make it harder to achieve our goals and can negatively impact our self-esteem and mental health. Instead, we need to focus on the things we can control, such as our actions and attitude. So the next time you find yourself saying, "I'm too," stop and ask yourself, why not? Challenge your negative thoughts and explore alternative ways of looking at the situation. For example, instead of saying "I'm too busy," say "I choose not to," or "How can I make time for this?" When we take responsibility for our choices rather than seeing ourselves as victims of circumstances, we empower ourselves to create the life we want. And remember, anything is possible if you believe in it. As author Mark Mason said, "You can do anything you set your mind to, and the only obstacles that stand in your way are your own doubts and fears." No. 5. I can't. If you are constantly telling yourself that you can't do something, then your mind will believe it to be true. Your actions will be limited and you may actually end up creating your own self-fulfilling prophecy. Instead, focus on what you can do. One way to do this is to replace the word one with won't or do-unt. For example, instead of saying, "I can't go to the gym today," say, "I won't go to the gym today." By taking control of your language, you can take control of your life and achieve your goals. One way to break the habit of saying "I can't" is to write down all the things you want to do or achieve and then find ways to make them happen. For example, if you want to learn a new language, break it down into smaller, achievable steps and set deadlines for each step. As you accomplish each step, celebrate your success. This will help you build momentum and motivation to keep going. Remember, the only person who can stop you from achieving your dreams is yourself. So don't say "I can't." Say "I will try and watch what you can achieve." Number 6, I'll be happy when we say "I'll be happy when," we are implying that we are not happy now and that something else needs to happen in order for us to be happy. But this is not true. We can choose to be happy right now. According to a study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, constantly putting off your happiness can lead to lower levels of satisfaction with your relationships and overall life. Instead, focus on being present and appreciating what you have right now. One way to do this is to practice gratitude. Write down 3 things you are grateful for each day and reflect on them. This will help you shift your mindset away from constantly seeking happiness and towards appreciating the present moment. So, instead of saying "I'll be happy when," say "I am happy now," or "I am grateful for what I have." When you focus on the positive aspects of your life, you will start to feel happier and more fulfilled. Number 7, I have to. Saying "I have to" implies that you have no control over your life and that everything you do is forced upon you. This can lead to feelings of resentment and bitterness. Instead, focus on what you want to do. One way to do this is to reframe your language. For example, instead of saying "I have to clean the house," say "I want to live in a clean house," or "I choose to clean the house." By taking control of your language, you can take control of your life and create the reality you desire. So instead of saying "I have to," ask yourself, what do I want and what is important to me? Then take action towards creating the life you want. Remember, you are the only one who can design your dream life. So don't say "I have to." Say "I want to," and watch what you can create. Number 8. That's why. When you say "that's why," you are implying that there is a reason for everything that happens in your life. But the truth is that most things happen by chance, and there is no real reason for them. Saying "that's why" can lead to feelings of helplessness and resignation. Instead, focus on what you can control. One way to do this is to reframe your language. For example, instead of saying "that's why I can't do it," say "that's interesting. How can I make it work anyway?" By taking control of your language, you can take control of your life and create the reality you desire. So instead of saying "that's why," say "that's interesting. How can I make it work?" And watch how much more empowered you feel.